I warned you. You didn't listen. Fine. Mega Piranha it is. Yes, it's Asylum time once again. You see, Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus was just the beginning. Turns out the Asylum had some sort of vile scheme. You see, washed-up 80s teen pop star Debbie Gibson was the star of Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus. Now, in Mega Piranha, they got the other washed-up 80s teen pop star, Tiffany, to star in the lead role. And now the two rivals are going to star in the same movie, Mega Python vs. Gatoroid, and are even going to have a fight scene to settle their differences. My goodness, I can't even contain my excitement. I mean, anyone over 30 is going to be pumped. What next, a Kid and Play reunion?
And whilst you're trying to remember who Kid and Play are, I discovered during editing that they've actually made a movie starring Urkel from Family Matters. Not a joke, I'm being serious!
Mega Piranha, like many of the Asylum movies, are made for the Sci-Fi Channel. Appropriately named, of course, because they are the cinematic equivalent of tertiary syphilis. Oh, and before you say, Matthew, Asylum movies are exceptionally easy targets. Well, both Mega Shark and Mega Piranha both had limited theatrical engagements in the UK. That's right, a cinema. I shit you not. Mega Piranha was also made to cash in on the release of Piranha 3D, which was originally meant to open in April 2010, but was pushed back to August, meaning this mockbuster was not only released before the film it was copying, but also meant it ended up being too early to cash in. Of course, you would have thought they used the extra time to make the film better. But this is the Asylum. So we open on the Orinoco River in South America, where a couple, who I shall call Dead Meat 1 and Dead Meat 2, both decide to get in the river and... are those braces? As you can tell by the repeated attempts to mimic Jaws, poorly animated piranha are in the river and promptly devour her using bad editing and recycled CGI shots, before getting the guy too. God bless the Asylum and their CGI taken from early PlayStation games. So after the title sequence, we then move to Venezuela. Oh no, wait, we're moving back onto the Orinoco River. If the point of that was to tell me it was close to the river, then you fail because it completely confused me. We then join some more dead meat on a boat party with boobs. Apparently this boat contains the US and Venezuelan ambassadors. I'm sure this is how all diplomatic talks are carried out, with plenty of gratuitously half-naked women.
Do you guys hear something?
Look, there's Nessie! Bit far upstream for her, isn't it?
Oh my god, what could do that to an alligator?
Oh, well, that's meant to be an alligator. Bah!
What the hell is going on here? What the hell is that?
It's a couple of stagehands rocking the boat! I mean, it's a bunch of hungry piranhas! The group all end up going overboard and end up being eaten, complete with a fake red mist. Come on, Angry Joe has better special effects than this. In LA, Special Forces agent Jason Fitch, played by Asylum regular and former Days of Our Lives actor Paul Logan, is woken by Secretary of State Bob Grady, played by Barry Williams of the Brady Bunch fame. Actors from Days of Our Lives and the Brady Bunch? The Asylum has a weird casting director.
Also, it appears that Jason is living in a warehouse because we're too cheap to rent out an apartment.
U.S. Ambassador Arnold Regis was assassinated this morning, along with the top Venezuelan diplomat he was with. Someone blew up their boat.
Yes, because a piranha attack looks like an assassination attempt, doesn't it? And when did the boat blow up? Last time we saw it, it was intact.
The CIA thinks it could be the start of an anti-American military coup. I need you to check out that river bottom and tell me what really happened before we have another Afghanistan on our hands.
What? Asylum, stop putting in topical references. It doesn't make you look intelligent, it makes you look like the idiotic dumbasses that you are.
Cut to genetics researcher Sarah, played by Tiffany, and wildlife biologist Eli in Venezuela. Oh, and you may have noticed that all the main characters are introduced with a still frame with their name and job description.
This is incredibly lazy and shows how little characterization there really is.
Not only is the annoying flashy editing back from Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus, but it's also back with a vengeance.
This doesn't make your movie look more professional, Asylum, it makes your film look cheaper than it already is.
The pair find some debris and take it to their lab with microbiologist Brian, and they seem to know what's going on.
It has to be them. They must be doubling in size every few days.
Is someone missing their cue? Speak!
No.
Ah, there we go.
If this is correct, they may be doubling in size every 36 hours.
Because people always pause between lines of conversation.
Jason arrives in Venezuela where Sarah immediately jumps on him.
Look, I really don't have time to talk about this right now. I think I'll meet
Colonel Diaz, I know. Please listen. One of my test groups, Lot L23, an especially bloodthirsty, grotesquely large strain that I labeled Serrasalmus gigantus. They became uncontrollable and had to be terminated.
Jesus, does he always carry that perpetually blank stare? He doesn't even seem to know what emotions are.
She gives him some debris to show when he meets Colonel Diaz.
Oh, you've got to be kidding. It was bad enough when you recycled it several times over in Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus, let alone recycling it in another shitty Asylum film.
So Jason meets Diaz.
Is it right over here, where the wood isn't torn? These little serrated edges? Has anyone suggested this boat was attacked by animals? I need to dive the river right away. Told Secretary Grady that I would.
We wouldn't want to disappoint Secretary Grady, would we?
No, Colonel. We wouldn't.
Guys, can we have a camera guy that isn't drunk, please? Hello?
They take him out to the location of the boat's last radio signal.
El río Orinoco, tierra de violencia, de muerte, señor Fitch.
Why did he say "and death" twice? Forget the camera guy, is there anyone in this film that isn't drunk off their arse?
I need to dive that river right away! Find the debris field and find out if this is an explosion or an animal attack!
It was an explosion. This area is now off limits. Anything to be done here will be done by myself.
Gee, I wonder if he's trying to cover up something.
Jason suspects the same thing and sneaks out to get a boat trip up the river. After some swimming and a terrible CGI dam, Jason literally bumps into a piranha. Luckily, he fights it off with a knife, causing the other piranhas to feast on it, helping him escape to the shore. However, a piranha jumps after him.
Why do I get the impression that the filmmaker's only knowledge of piranhas comes from Piranha 2?
Jason kills the freakishly large piranha, giving him all the evidence he needs.
Secretary Grady, it wasn't an explosion, and it wasn't terrorists. It was giant piranha.
Sir, those theories were ludicrous. Of course they were killed by giant mutated killer fish. Stop laughing!
Jason shows the piranha to Diaz before going to the American scientists for further evidence, where they discover that not only has the piranha grown several new organs, but it can also breed on its own.
And before you claim this is far-fetched, this is a giant piranha film we're talking about.
Jason and Sarah go to visit Diaz.
Señor Fitch, Coronel Diaz quiere verlo.
Good.
Coronel Diaz? How the hell do you misspell Colonel?
Jason and Sarah want Diaz to reinforce the dam and wait for the US military, but Diaz and his CGI helicopters open fire on the piranha anyway, even though they wouldn't be able to see them from this height.
You're not gonna bomb them, are you?
Of course I'm going to attack them. I'm a soldier.
I'm a stereotype. I blow everything up.
Of course, being a fucking idiot, Diaz blows up the dam in the process, leaving nothing blocking the piranha. Apparently this means a job well done, as Grady congratulates Jason. Diaz gets drunk before going to Sarah's lab and shutting it down.
Why is this happening? Oh right, because he's an antagonist, so he has to do evil things even when they make no sense.
Of course, the film is only 30 minutes in at this point, so you know the piranha are still alive. And of course, they have a nice snack on a military boat, which is so badly edited I think I'm having a seizure.
How the dam hold up?
It's totally blown apart. Nothing's holding them in anymore.
There's no wonder they escaped. Diaz was using grenades and machine guns to try and kill him. We need a full-blown assault.
Then what the bloody hell do you call machine guns and grenades? The only way this would have been more of an assault is if they dropped a nuke on them. Which ironically happens later.
Eli and Brian are chased by Diaz's men, with one of them cornering them at gunpoint when the piranha attacks the soldier.
Run away! You're being chased by soldiers, so move!
Of course, that piranha attack was completely pointless because they got captured anyway. The pair are thrown in jail with Sarah. They are thrown into a van which Jason, who had escaped before being arrested, follows. But there appears to be some sort of disturbance at the harbour, allowing Jason to free them. The disturbance is because of...
That is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Rather than, say, going back to Jason's car and getting the hell out of there, they decide to keep walking through looking at the carnage.
The piranha are heading toward the ocean. We might be able to catch them. Why don't you guys go that way? I'm gonna go do more testing on the water.
Really? You see giant piranhas jumping into buildings and your first reaction is to test the water? You deserve to die!
In fact, all of them deserve to die because all of them get closer to the river.
These might well be the dumbest scientists since, well, Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus.
Of course, Jason gets attacked.
I think I'm gonna piss myself!
The piranhas just stop.
Now move away from the shore.
I've tested it 3 times. The fish are definitely headed northeast toward the ocean.
Move away from the shore before someone gets killed.
They can't breathe in salt water. They'll never go near it.
They're gonna be trapped. They're not gonna get away this time.
I told you to move away from the shore, you stupid bastards! See? You see?
He's gone. We need to get you to the embassy. Come on.
Embassy? I'm not going to an embassy! We've got to follow the piranha right down to the river and find someone, anyone, to kill them and bomb them! I just want to kill them all!
I'm acting!
Only with Diaz's men chasing them do they finally move away from the shore back to Jason's car.
I've been working on the size of these things. Based on the fish that escaped last month, the much larger ones we collected last night, and the huge ones we saw today, based on my calculations, these things are doubling in size in half the amount of time we expected, and then doubles again within each growth cycle.
Okay, how about numbers that mean something?
He said numbers that made perfect sense, you plank of wood.
They'll be the size of a horse by the time they reach the mouth of the river. 8 hours after that, a rhinoceros. 4 hours later, an elephant. Then a whale.
They appear to be the size of elephants already, and that analogy made no sense. Learn biology.
Grady, Mr. Exposition, calls Jason from his bunker.
I need you to bombard the mouth of the Orinoco River, sir. Heavy ordnance, everything you got. Right where the fresh water meets the salt.
I'll also send a ship to the river mouth, but just to observe. At 0950 hours, you send in a personal distress SOS, and that ship will respond outside of official jurisdiction.
I got nothing.
There's a completely pointless scene here involving a military checkpoint that surprisingly isn't packed with people. It's even more pointless when we discover that Diaz has been following them with both a van and a poorly CGI'd helicopter.
Those piranhas have shrunk since we last saw them. You can't even keep continuity on your own monsters.
And so we get several intensely monotonous minutes of padding as Diaz chases Jason. Jason finally evades capture by simply ducking into an alley. Oh wait, no, he didn't lose them because Diaz appears right behind them. Never mind.
Prepara the car! Even you, Senor Fitch!
¡Salgan con las manos en alto or we start shooting!
So you translate the Spanish into Spanish? What the f***?
Somehow Jason manages to teleport out of the car even though Diaz was right behind him.
I know he's special forces, but that doesn't give you the ability to teleport through space.
They get to the shore so they can send the signal for a nearby battleship to fire a strike and stop the piranhas from getting further upriver. Of course we need more tension, so Jason's phone runs out of battery.
If it was really that important, then you should have turned your damn phone off to conserve the battery.
But luckily, they have the bright idea of sucking on the battery to give it a little extra charge.
This is complete and total bollocks, by the way, so don't try this at home unless you're dumber than the filmmakers.
The battery sucking works and the battleship opens fire. Sarah initially believes that this stopped them, but she's in for a shock.
Oh no. Oh no. They can live in the ocean?
Oh my god, this is completely unexpected. They couldn't have possibly mutated to accept the different waters.
And of course, the piranha attack and destroy the battleship.
Come on, Asylum, destroying a battleship has become a cliche now. You did it twice in Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus.
After a fight scene choreographed by a blind man, they steal one of Diaz's helicopters, but they left 2 behind, which means that Diaz's men can chase them. Oh great, we're gonna have a chase scene involving shitty CGI helicopters.
If you can't afford helicopters, stop writing set pieces around them.
Christ, these CGI effects are so bad I think they were done on Amiga. There's an incredibly stupid moment where Jason and Diaz's helicopters just sit in front of each other.
Fire? Just fire? You're trying to kill each other, so fire!
Diaz finally fires a missile, but Jason swerves, making it hit some red shirts. Both Diaz and Jason's helicopters take damage, and Diaz retreats. Jason's helicopter is desperately losing fuel, but Sarah has the idea to use an oxygen tank.
Hit it! Whoa! That man, screw science, you guys should be working for NASCAR!
Jesus, science is taking it full on up the ass from this movie.
Luckily, the boost allows them to get to the bunker where they meet with Grady.
The longer we stand here, the bigger the Saracelmus are getting.
I agree with Professor Monroe. She's the expert. She knows the enemy. So, what can we expect?
Guys, really now, stop spinning the camera. I'm starting to get a bit sick.
They make the decision to nuke the Piranha with a submarine, which they do. We've now entered territory similar to the incredibly boring scenes in Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus, where we watch people in military bases watch lots of screens of people in submarines and battleships.
It's extremely tedious to watch.
The nuke detonates.
Any sign of life? Nothing yet.
They drop a bomb that could level New York City, and the aftermath is a couple of ripples? Bullshit.
Of course, the Piranhas survive and they attack the submarine and destroy it. Yet another set piece you should be familiar with from Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus.
You know what? Give me the stupid shit with Colonel Diaz, because at least it's more interesting than watching recycled set pieces from other Asylum movies.
With the Piranhas approaching Florida, they're left with limited options.
I have been authorized to order a full nuclear assault. Maybe 100 times what we just saw.
There's gotta be another way.
You got a better plan?
When I dove that river in Venezuela, I was able to cut one of these things with my knife. And as soon as that thing started to bleed, all the other fish, they forgot about me. Tore it to pieces.
But you'd have to go down with other divers for that. Swim right alongside them. Hit them in the eyes or something.
Exactly. Right in the eyes.
So, let me get this straight. Your plan is to send a bunch of divers armed only with guns against piranhas that are bigger and faster than they are and try to shoot them in the eyes so they attack each other. Good luck with that!
Oh, and the anti-nukes conflict, yet another bit pasted over for Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus.
This is the MK-15, the most powerful handheld underwater cannon in the world. If you are approached, fire. If you are uncertain, fire. And if you are retreating, fire.
Just fire like a bunch of crazy mofos! That's our strategy!
Before Jason leaves, Sarah gives him a frequency amplifier in case he's trapped.
I'm sure that won't be used during the climax.
The piranhas hit the shores of Florida and start laying waste to people and buildings, including a newswoman who's shown to be really stuck up and arrogant.
Satire!
Jason and the Navy SEALs dive into the waters to fight the piranhas, a sequence so badly shot and edited, it looks like they're firing wildly at nothing.
Most likely because they are.
Fitch, are you there?
This is Fitch.
Some Saracelmus don't have regular blood vessels in their eyes. Try hitting them in their gills, deep inside where there's veins.
Copy that. We'll hit him in the gills.
How can he be talking through a radio with his breathing apparatus?
Oh, and in the midst of this stupid nonsense, Colonel Diaz reappears in his helicopter and blows up the Navy SEALs helicopter.
I've given up trying to make sense of anything this character does.
Send 2 more helicopters, fast.
Yes, sir.
Tiffany's a ventriloquist!
Diaz poses the naval helicopter, capturing Jason and Eli. Eli gets shot and Jason shoots the pilot with a flare, making his head explode.
Jesus Christ! That was cool! In a really crappy way, of course.
Eli and Jason jump off the helicopter, but not before leaving the frequency amplifier inside, making a piranha jump up and destroy the helicopter with Diaz inside. The same piranha follows Jason into a trench, where he shamelessly rip off Jaws by firing a bomb into its mouth.
Well, you son of a...
The blown up piranha creates a feeding frenzy amongst the piranhas.
That doesn't make any sense, but this movie's nearly over, so screw it.
You okay, Doc?
I just got shot. You threw me out of a helicopter.
He'll get over it.
Hundreds of people died.
The world implausibly saved, and after lots of hugging, Jason and Eli return as heroes. Roll credits.
You know how I say at the end of my Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus review how the Asylum seemed to be improving? Well, I take that back, because this film is atrocious on every level.
The CGI is awful, with the piranhas changing from shot to shot. The acting is more wooden than a rainforest, and the script, when it's not being incredibly stupid and filled with plot holes, is just an unimaginative clone of Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus. Even as a cheesy B-movie, it's so damn awful it borders on virtually unwatchable.
I'm Matthew Buck, and I really do mean it. No more Asylum movies!
Let's get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper!